listeners' thoughts and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views, thoughts, or opinions of the PB Association of Students for Computer Intelligence Integration, or PB ASCII. The content provided is for general informational purposes only. The name PB ASCII and associated forms and abbreviations are the property of their respective owners. The mention does not imply endorsement or opposition to any organization, product, or service.
Welcome to Usap Tayo Sinta, a space where conversations go beyond academic life and into the realities that shape who we are.
In today's episode, as we know, this is the month of February, and besides celebrating the Loves Month, as we know, we're celebrating Women's Month also. So we're diving into a topic that continues to inspire change and challenge norms.
So whether you're a future developer, a student leader, or someone still figuring out your path, this conversation is for you.
Tune into Usap Tayo Sinta.
Scholars! Ano? Tara? Usap tayo. Ano? Tara? Podcast. Ano? Tara?
I'm Sam from CS12, one of your hosts for today's episode, and I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Eliza from BSCS TV, and of course, let's not forget to introduce our distinguished guest, Ma'am Maria Sagom. So, can we have a... Hello. So, could you please tell us more about yourself? Kahit brief introduction lang.
Oh, okay. I'm Ria Sagum. I'm from the College of Computer and Information Sciences, and I am in the Department of Computer Science. I am your teacher, your instructor, your professor, and friend if you would like me to be.
Thank you so much for that brief introduction po. But moving on, for the first question, talking about challenges, was there a moment in your academic or professional journey in tech when you realized na kailangan nyo pong mag-redirect ng path?
As a student, I don't need to redirect my path kasi first and foremost, I saw technology as my scapegoat for my profession because I was told that if I will be taking course which is being offered in our province, they would not let me to go to Manila. So I chose a profession, a course that is not in the province, and I chose computer. But then, of course, later on, the reason why I chose computer is I am very amazed with the technology. Siguro bata pa ako. It's more on technology because I love Flintstone. And if you would notice, si Flintstone kasi, di ba, yung Stone Age siya, pero yung mga ginagamit niya is technology talaga, no? I also love Richie Rich, which has a parang may yaya siya, which is Rona, which I really love, which is a robot. So maybe without me knowing it, I am really in the technology. In my academic, as a faculty member, there are some times that I would like to go to different paths. That is the time when I don't feel like the students are understanding what I intend to do in my class. Definitely, they will see me as a strict person and lots of assignment and everything, and I got bad evaluations. But then sometimes, ayaw nyo sa akin ha, I go differently. But then, again, I pray, and I'm just asking our Lord, ano bang dapat kong gawin, everything. Binabalik niya ako dun sa path na dyan ka. So sometimes I would like to give up because there are some times that students cannot appreciate what I am really doing for them. But then again, sabi nga, after you graduate, pag nakita ko naman yung mga students ko, yung mga dati kong students. So minsan, ito na yung time na, hanap na nga lang ako ng ibang school or kaya ay hindi na lang kaya ako magturo. Darating naman, I will meet my former students and they will tell me, Ma'am, alam mo, yung mga ganyan-ganyan. So, ang dami nilang kwento and that parang parang bumabalik So, I think it's God's will na makausap ko sila whenever I have this time na I am deciding to go a different path.
So far
Okay.
po naman, are you satisfied with your decision to choose the tech industry and to stay in the tech industry?
Yes, of course, because as I have mentioned to you, I love technology. I love seeing things differently. I love automation. Even if I see something like a basic cooking, tapos nakita ko it was turned into an automation, no? Like pagbe-bake lang ng cake. And then nakita ko na punta sa automation, type ko na talaga eh. So I think doon talaga tayo sa technology. Even in my home, you would see their technology. Yung aking mga binibiling gamit ay minsan hindi siya basic, no? Medyo may pagka-automated kasi. Kasi nga, siguro, I love it. When I was in Japan, that was 1990s, nakakita lang ako ng something na ginagawa natin na basic na manual. Tapos nakikita ko lang sa kalye in Japan. You can see anywhere that it's really technology, it's automation. I'm really amazed and love it. So I don't have any regrets in being a technology, and I would like to share some more with regards to this technology stuff that we are in right now.
So, as we know naman po, nagre-research ka din, right?
Yes.
So, pag-solve naman po ng problems in research, and other stuff like teaching or industry collaborations, how do you handle po yung mga setbacks or pag may mga types na hindi siya nag-go as planned? May mga, ano po ba kayo dun?
Sa research, well, in research kasi you have collaborations, no? You collaborate with the student or you collaborate with your colleagues. So, when it is not being, we have always a plan. Even you can say that whenever I ask for a proposal, there is always a Gantt chart, no? So, there is a plan because I believe that if you don't plan, you plan to fail, no? So, I always have a plan in my mind. Of course, palaging nagkakaroon ng failure, no?
Hindi naman
So,
po siya
dun
maiwasan.
papasok yung adjustments. We need to adjust. Okay? We need to maximize the time that we have. Sometimes there are things that we need to shorten so that we could catch up with it. Ganun lang yung ginagawa ko. And yun nga, you always plan. Yung plan mo kasi, more on worst case scenario minsan yung time na ibinibigay ko. So, mag-fail man, meron pa ako, alam ko may particular time pa ako na nag-i-stay. Okay? Ang pinakamahirap na plan, yung plan na, ang pinakamahirap na setback is yung gumagawa na partner mo, biglang wala. Nowhere to find. Yun ang pinakamahirap. So what will you do? Hindi naman pwedeng hindi tapusin. So you have to be resourceful and do it on your own. You have to do that. So that whatever it is that you have, kasi you are already committed to that and you still have to stay with that commitment. Even if you are the only one who's doing it, you stay with it. And fortunately, I have people around me that are very dependent ako sa kanila. And andun sila palagi. So, nagiging okay naman yung problema. Kumbaga, nakaka-catch up yung mga kailangan ko.
So, ayan po, as nandun na tayo sa topic ng problems when it comes to projects and stuff, one factor that helps us overcome this is, syempre po yung mga soft skills, right? Yung, ayun nga po, sa ano niya. With that, we'll go to our next segment, yung soft skills compiler. And for our next question, it's, in any industry, alam naman po natin lahat na technical skills alone cannot get you to your career. So with that being said, what soft skills po play the most crucial role sa journey nyo as a tech professional and an educator po?
Actually, it's more on going through you need to have networks. You need to know, you need to be able to deal with people so that you can have networks. Masarap kasi yung you are in this particular project or you are in this technology, and whenever you need something, you know somebody, dito, pwede siya, pwede to, I can call you, I can talk to you. Okay, so these people, the networks that we have is very important. So, soft skill would be a good communicator, maybe dealing with people, and another thing would be siguro you'll be able to tell people what you want. Be honest with people. Be frank. Sometimes it hurt, but sometimes that gives you an integrity. Parang pag sinabi to nito, totoo to. So, yun yung nagiging ganda nun, no? But there are disadvantages of being frank. Ang daming nagmi-misinterpret sa'yo. But I think that is a soft skill that I think is very important in technology. We need to tell upfront, eto yung kailangan natin, this is what we need. And with that, you know what you want to do, dun papasok yung networks Kasi, kumbaga, makikilala ka dun sa field na yon. So, magkaka-network ka talaga. So, sabi ko, being a good, kasi pag sinabing, si Ma'am Sagum, good ano ba yan? Good listener ba yan? A good communicator? Okay ba siya makipag-communicate? Sometimes sabihin na sila, di naman, bad naman siya or what. Pero, siguro, yun yung isa sa reason kung bakit may networks ako, which is an advantage in the field of technology. You cannot do it alone. You need to have collaborators. You need to have other school. You need to know other people in your field for you to be able to do and to update yourself in that particular field.
And sometimes po, it's hard na most of the times your intentions aren't met kapag sinabing frank ka.
Yes.
You're often misunderstood as
Yes.
naghahanap ng gulo. to
Kala
some
nila
sort.
kala nila for you being frank, parang, ano ba to? Parang, siguro hindi nila, wala kasi sa natin yan wala sa culture natin yung pagiging prangka ng tao. Konti lang yung nagiging prangka. So, masyado kang nami-misinterpret. But then again, if you will just look inside, ano ba yung reason behind that? Siguro, mas maganda kasi hindi kayo mag-uubos ng oras. Kasi diretso alam nyo kung anong gagawin, di ba? Tsaka honest siya sa feeling niya. Honest yung tao. And being frank, for me, is being honest.
So for our next question naman po, for students like us naman po, ano yung mga soft skills ang na-overlook namin? Pero in reality, it is an essential skill sa industry natin.
Yun nga, parehas nung sa akin. You have to, you'll be able to express yourself.
More honestly. Yeah.
Express yourself. You should know where you are. You should know what you want. You should express yourself. Kasi kalimitan sa atin, mahihiyain. So, bago pa pumunta sa ibang lugar, pinapractice na yan, ano yung sasabihin ko? Naku, baka makasama ito, baka But then, with that, you are not being yourself. So, just be yourself, express yourself, and you need to dream. Siguro, soft skill ba yung dreamer? You have to be a dreamer. Kailangan yung dream mo, may plano ka, paano mo siya makukuha. Diba? And with that kasi, kaya may dream ka, gusto makuha, kasi you would like to express yourself. You would like to be yourself. People will love you. People will like you for who you are, diba? They will understand you. And that will be the same in the professional field. That would be the same in wherever you go.
Nagkaroon na po ba kayo ng time sa industry na parang yun yung naging weapon nyo? Yung
Alin?
pagiging, pagiging prangka or pagiging ano nyo?
Oo, kasi pag sumama ka sa isang project, sumama ka doon. So parang point, huy, si Rhea sumama. So ibig sabihin, ay, pwede to. parang ganun, parang nagiging leverage, parang ganun. Kasi nga, alam nila na prangka ka. Alam nila sometimes it would be an advantage kasi pag sinabi sabi ni Rhea ganun,
Yun
hindi
na
naman
yung
ibig sabihin naniniwala sila na yung sinabi mo batas. But then again, kasi prangka siya eh. Pag sinabi niya hindi pwede. Pag sabi niyang pwede. So maybe sometimes it's an advantage. But then sometimes it's a disadvantage because yun nga, if they don't feel that kind of attitude, then they won't like it.
Ano naman po masasabi niyo sa students who are too scared na maka-offend or baka may masabi silang mali, gano'n?
Well, of course, baka naman kasi minsan sobra yung pagsasalita. So, wag naman ganon. But then again, you can say what you would like to say in a good way. We always have to remember that you have to respect people. Kasi baka, yun nga, very frank nga, but you are not respecting. Though may mga nagsasabing, respect is being earned, no? So, but then again, though sometimes, that person that you would like to talk to, parang hindi niya na-earn yung respect mo. But, sa'yo na lang sa sarili mo, respect yourself, not to say something bad to that particular person.
So,
Diba? So, yun na lang sa students kasi para sa akin sa students, paano yung yes ma'am, tapos pag nakatalikod ka naman kung ano-anong sasabihin mo, that's not being respectful and that's bad. So, if it's not the case, if you want to ask something, if you want to do something, maybe you can ask your classmates or your students. Palagay ko naman, hindi ka mapapahiya. Hindi mo na kailangan practicein kung ano yung dapat kong sabihin o hindi. 'Di ba? Basta isipin mo lang palagi would be, if I'm going to be told like this, would I like it? Will I be hurt? I always go to the golden rule. Yun palagi ang iniisip.
So, moving forward po. The tech industry is, as we know, very competitive po. So, anong habits or experiences po yung mararecommend mo para mas strengthen yung different soft skills namin as students and para mas tumaas yung market value namin to gain a role in the industry?
Industrious. You have to be industrious. You have to be responsible. You have to be professional in everything that you do. And you need to know how to learn, how to study. You need to have a lifelong learning in you. Kasi in the technology, learning, lifelong reading, learning everything, trying, experimenting, you need to do that because you are in technology. Yung mga what if, can it be done? Kailangan tanong mo yan be inquisitive. In technology, you need to be inquisitive because what you think might happen or what will happen might be a new technology. If there's a problem and there will be like, what if I do this? What if I created this? Then you can create something. Hindi ko alam kung soft skill pero I always make this joke to my students. In the field of computer science, you need to take advantage of your being lazy. Because if you take advantage of that, marami kang masosolve na automation problem. Because you are lazy. So take advantage of that. That's technology. Diba?
Kumbaga, baseline po is to stay curious talaga
Curiosity.
on what technology can do in the future.
And you will have to be open. Hindi pa pwedeng, hindi pwede yan. The thing would always be, pwede to eh. Paano? Okay. That's the
But
reason.
I think you've also told us po sa mga klase niyo na it's parang never kang tumitigil sa pag-learn.
Yeah.
Parang it's a constant cycle throughout your whole life na lagi kang may matututunang bago. So,
Sa technology kasi, series of learning talaga. You don't have to stop. Otherwise, you will be left behind. So, you need to always study. And the skill that you have to really have is to be able to update yourself. Kailangan kaya mong gawin.
So from that po, and ayun nga, nandun tayo sa topic na laging nag-grow sa technology. We want to deep dive dun sa mga, tawag dito, mental overload when it comes to technology. So for our first,
Mental overload.
so for our first question, with all your achievements and your status as a tech prof, na-experience nyo na rin po ba yung imposter syndrome? Or yung parang, kunyari feeling mo na, hala, deserve ko ba to? Or yung mga ganun pong lines, lalo na sa industry na parang laging constant motion yung nangyayari.
So, when you say imposter syndrome na, hala, deserve ko ba to? You are saying that
Parang you're
Parang
not
are in a
doing
position.
you're not doing enough to earn something ganun.
Parang kumbaga po, kung nasa table ka ng madaming professionals, parang masabi mo pa,
Bilang
tama
ba
bang
ako
nandito
dito?
po ba ako sa, tama bang nandito ako sa table?
Oh, minsan kasi nasya-shock ka sa mga kausap mo eh, no? When I was with, like, mga kilalang researcher, no? Tapos, andun ako sa, I don't know if I can say it, but andun ako dun sa, kayo na yung nagdidesisyon tungkol dun sa ipapagawang curriculum, no? Parang iniisip mo, hello, am I supposed to be here? Di ba? But then, minsan lang yon, hindi ko alam kung mapaproud ka o parang sandali lang, parang malaking responsibility. But then, what my mentor told me, it is not PUP anymore. Sometimes you go outside and you serve the nation. So, yun lang inisip ko. I have to serve the nation. That's why I'm there. So, yun nga, hindi ka naman ilalagay doon kung hindi ka para doon. So, palaging ganon. So, yun lang palagi kong iniisip. Positively. Kaya, ako nilagay dito kasi meron akong maiko-contribute. And whenever I go there, whenever I meet people, whenever I will be given a chance, dun sa mga ganon na decision making and everything, I tried all the best to give a good decision, to suggest na makakatulong sa tao. Kasi sabi nga hindi na lang PUP ang iisipin mo ngayon. Ang iisipin mo, the reason why we invited you here is for the nation. So, give back to the nation.
So, for our second question, we are known for being resilient as students and faculty members of PUP nga po. Pero do you think being a woman in tech adds another layer of pressure na kailangan nating mas mag-effort para lang mapatunayan yung worth natin?
Yung kung being woman in tech, kailangan mo magdagdag ng effort, hindi na. Kasi kilala ang woman in technology. Well, the first programmer is Lady Ada. So she's a woman.
Lovelace.
Okay? And also I belong to this group Women in Technology for the Computing Society of the Philippines, no?
That's interesting.
So, Women in Technology, it's there. Hindi na natin kailangan pang ipakita yan, no? Hindi na natin kailangang sabihin pa kasi ang dami naman talagang women in technology. So, I don't feel anything na I need to be pressured on that. No.
So, as you've said before, ayun nga po, madami lang, kumbaga, umuusbong sa technology.
Mhm.
And grabe po yung bilis ng AI, ng blockchain, and stuff like that. Paano niyo po na-handle yung tech FOMO or yung fear of missing out nang hindi ka nababurn out? Like parang, is there a secret to staying updated without losing your sanity? Ganun po.
Well, reason, my means to be updated, it's always curiosity. Hindi ako nawawalan ng curiosity. And also, you should know that you have to learn more. The more kasi ganito when I look at it, the more I learn, the more I know that I don't know So, parang parang pag inaral ko to, mamaya-maya isipin ko, ay, dapat pala aralin ko pa to. Dapat pala meron pa ako nito. So, hindi ako nababurnout kasi parang makikipag-compete ka bang ganon? Hindi. Kasi you already have your something like for me, it's my specialization. Okay? So, para hindi ako masyadong stressed out, I just go to that specialization. Yun lang ang iniisip ko. And then, I look for something na ano pa yung wala, ano pa yung meron. And then, I just work on that. Okay? I read a lot. Maybe that's the reason why
Hindi ka po
hindi ko
nababurn out.
feel na nababurn out ako. And I don't feel that it is being burnt out. Kasi, I do not want to compete naman to all the people, di ba? Sabi ko nga minsan, I just compete with myself. Ito yung output ko this year. Next year, ito naman yung output ko. Papahinga ako this year. Next year naman ako. Kasi I think by that time naman, pag tiningnan ko naman yung research, yun pa rin naman ang medyo minsan ay medyo na pag-uusapan, di ba? So, yun lang. Kasi, mahirap ma-burnout kasi mababurnout ka na din sa profession nyo. Mawawala yung motivation mo. Mawawala yung kasi kaya mo gusto yung specialization mo, you think you can help in that particular area, di ba? So pag nababurnout ka na, wala na, iba na yung nararamdaman nun, and that's not good to your health. That's not good for you anymore.
So parang babalik po tayo dun sa soft skill na curiosity talaga is kailangan sa industry natin as
Lalo na sa
tech
technology.
professionals. Yeah. So for our next question, between pagtuturo, pag-research, and staying updated with industry shifts, how do you protect your peace po? Is work-life balance a myth lang in tech, or have you found a way to make it work?
A myth. Ang ganda nun, work-life balance is a myth. Actually, sa totoo lang, nung nagkaroon yung time ng pandemic, doon ako ng problema sa work-life balance. Kasi, kahit nasa trabaho ka, nasa bahay ka, tatrabaho ka. So, nawala yung work-life balance. Tapos, ang dami-dami mong kailangang output. But then, I have to stick. Pag masaya pamilya mo, masaya yung profession mo. Pero pag hindi sumaya yung pamilya mo, hindi na masaya yung profession mo. So, is it a myth? I'm making it not a myth. I don't know. Siyempre, hindi ko alam yung nafe-feel ng husband ko, hindi ko alam yung nafe-feel ng anak ko. 'Di ba? But then again, nung family ko, it's not only the husband and my daughter, my mom, mga kapatid ko, 'di ba, yung mga siblings ko. Whenever they need me, palaging, may meeting ako. Also, my former classmates, yan, ganyan. I'm trying my best. Medyo niliitan ko yung limitations o yung delimiters ko ng work-life balance. Family na lang muna inuna ko. And then, kung babalanse siya dun sa work ko. Okay? So, deciding factor would be, I do not want to be burnt out with work because family suffers. Likewise, I do not want my work will suffer because of my family, no? But then, if you have to choose, kailangan peaceful muna ang family before you can do the work.
So, let's now focus po kasi nasabi niyo na rin po sa amin na marami kang projects po, based on your journey. So, if you were to pick one po, ano po yung project na pinaka-proud kayo i-showcase?
Actually, hindi naman more on project, no? Kasi iba yung project, malalaki. Sa research, oo. Siyempre, ang proud akong i-showcase is my language tools that I have created because that is my way of telling people that I would like to preserve the culture of the Filipino. Yan, medyo may pagkaana, na. But then, palagi ko pinagdadasal yan sa Diyos na bigyan ako ng intelligence, not just for myself, but to help people. And I think to preserve the culture of the Philippines is one thing that Pwede naman ako gumawa ng maraming applications for language processing, di ba? Pero I still go to the tools because I think, sino pa ba ang gagawa ng tools para sa Filipino language kung hindi tayo? So, we still have to spearhead that one and that is preserving our culture. Doon ako proud kasi kasama ako doon sa nagpe-preserve nung culture. Hindi man ako yon, at least medyo salingket ako doon, nasasali ako doon.
So, talking about tools po, curious lang po kami, especially the students listening. Ano pong tech stack or tools yung ginagamit nyo rito? Was it a struggle po ba to learn it on the fly or talagang pinag-aralan nyo po siya beforehand?
What do you mean, tools na ginagamit ko for my research?
Para po, kung yung parang process niyo po, yun, pinag-aralan niyo po ba yun ng sobra-sobra or was it on the fly?
Alam mo,
na lang?
my specialization NLP is what we called a love-hate relationship or ano na sabi ko dito, na-develop lang ako. Hindi naman siya yung talagang love ko di ba? Medyo pinush yan sa akin Dito ka sa field na to, ganyan. But then I learned how to love it, no? So I have, yun nga, pag na-love ko na yun, pag nagustuhan ko na, yun, papasok na naman. Yung, ano yung gusto ko palagi? Curiosity. So, pumapasok siya. So, pag pumasok na siya, ayun no.
Parang, kumbaga kapag curious ka pa, wala nang limits na maglilimit talaga sa'yo.
Kaya nga, pati yung data mining, pag pinasok ko yun, nakukuha ko lahat ng mga data, yung mga gusto kong itanong sa net and everything, napupuntahan ko So, ayun, kasi nga curiosity, minsan hindi ka makatulog dahil doon sa curiosity mo, no? So, ikot ka ng ikot, curious ka at paano? Ano pag ikutin mo? Minsan, yung mga chat GPTs ngayon, or mga generative AIs, no? I usually talk to them, all of them. I'm just curious how they can talk to me, talk back. Ano sasabihin nito, ganyan. And at the same time, without me knowing it, I am already evaluating. So, ang problem ko na is I'm not using the generative AI as to how it will be useful as a tool. But it's another way around. It's how to know what are their problems for me to create another one. So, medyo naiiba yung ko. But that's curiosity, di ba? And then from there, I was able to create a research. There's something missing. This is what I need to know. This one cannot answer this. This one cannot answer it. Then from there, simula ka na mag-work ulit. So
beyond the code and the technicals po, nagkaroon po ba kayo ng parang moment na nakita niyo yung research niyo na parang may naging impact siya? Like, for example nga po sa NLP, may ganun po kayo instance?
I mean, very lucky na nagkakaroon siya ng impact. Pero hindi naman malaking impact. Very lucky nagkakaroon ng impact. Kasi, if you're a researcher, tapos nasa site ka, tapos yung nagsa-site sa'yo, hindi mo kilala. Ang sarap nun. Ang sarap sa feeling. Kasi, hindi mo naman pinware sa'yo na, uy, site mo ko. Hindi sinasite ka niya and sinasite ka niya as dun sa paano mo na nakikita yung research mo, paano siya gagamitin. Doon kanya sinasite. That is very, very, parang, ang sarap nung nararamdaman ko. Parang yung ginawa ko na napakinabangan, di ba? Nakita nila na importante. Being cited is telling the author that your research is important.
Tsaka being cited means na you were able to help another researcher.
Yes, kasi yung parang yung nila yung naiisip nila, parang sinusegundahan mo sila or pinapatunayan mo na yung research na gusto nilang gawin ay possible. Yun.
So now that we are at the end of our first part, what advice would you give to students who aspire to thrive in the tech industry but may feel intimidated or underrepresented?
Well, as you mentioned, do not feel intimidated. No? So, do not feel intimidated because every person is a different person. You are your own person. So, don't be intimidated. And that's the thing Kasi once na na-intimidate ka na, you cannot do anything anymore because you are being intimidated. As long as you know that what you're doing is right, that what you would like to do is right, then just go on.
Tsaka for me, parang malaking factor din po yung pagiging intimidated sa pagiging burnout. Kasi pag intimidated ka, parang, ay, hindi
Kasi
ko
parang-
kaya to. Parang
Para
ganon.
pating palagi kang nakikipag-compete, mabe-burnout ka talaga. But if you love what you are doing, hindi ka na mabe-burnout kasi you love what you are doing. Pag nai-intimidate ka, you are trying to prove something na ganito, hindi pwede, hindi ganyan. Don't try to prove anything to anybody. Just do what you wanted to do. So you will not be intimidated.
Thank you for that. Napaka-insightful at
Thank you.
napaka-inspiring po na naging
I
talk natin today.
hope I can help. I hope I was able to inspire students. Okay, take note hindi po ako yung estudyante na honor. Wala nga akong banggit, no? Wala akong banggit, no? But then again, it's how you, you develop yourself. Hindi everything, hindi pa late. Gusto mong mag-aral ka. Gusto mong maging ganito ka. Kasi walang late. Hindi porke hindi ka nag-honor, hindi ka nag-ano. Saka walang taong hindi magaling. Matalino ka in your own way. In your own time, in your own area, matalino ka. Hindi lang nakikita sa grades lang.
Grades doesn't define who.
Yes.
So, ayan po. So, to commemorate our thank you po, we have our Certificate of Appreciation, which is proudly presented to Professor Ria A. Sagum and great for recognition for being an inspiring speaker in ASCII-CAST Year 2, Episode 1, My Tech Shiro, Captains of the Digital World, held on February 23, 2025 at room S505A. Your invaluable insights and engaging discussion have truly enriched our learning community, and thank you for sharing your expertise and contributing to the success of Usap Tayo Sinta 2026. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I am really honored to be one of your guests.
First
Yes,
guest.
first
To be the
guest po.
first guest in this one. Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you very much.
As we've said before, this is the month of February where we celebrate the Women's Month. And our title talks about how women can also be heroes, kaya nga My Tech Shiro. Parang she is a hero. And today we will really discuss what it means to be a woman.
And syempre, the best possible way to dive deep into something is to look at the past and know how much has changed. With that, we have ASCII's president, Ate Chelsea Cabrera. Yes.
Hi guys!
Yes. Ayan. So, ayan nga, as we've talked, this is the Women's Month after all. So, we want to really focus on the gender and development part. So, for our first question, ano ba yung sa tingin mo significant milestones sa history natin mga babae? Yung may pinakamalaking impact sa'yo?
Well, historically speaking, we've come so far as women. Kasi if you guys really look back on our history, parang lagi lang tayong ginagawang traditional housewives, and when you're a woman, you are only limited to this certain kind of actions, and ang daming bawal, basically. Pero if you really think about it, if you look at it from this point of view, in the 21st century right now, women, hindi ko man sinasabi na ang dami na nating na lahat is available na for us. Pero compared dati, ang dami na nating na-achieve. We've already been able to open our bank accounts. Dati hindi siya available for women, only for their husbands. Kaya mas malala rin yung domestic violence. And also right now, pwede na tayong mag-vote. We have the right to vote na. And then right now, we have the right to study. And we have the right to choose not to get married or not to bear children. So for me, hindi siya ganun kaganda kasi kung iisipin natin, basic human rights lang siya. Pero knowing that pinagkait siya sa women dati, And now, na choose na natin na not to do this and to do that, parang it really is a milestone for women.
Also din parang, ang tawag dito, napakadaming, kumbaga, achievements yung, like, ang dami ng leader na
Real.
women right now. Sa Senate na lang, for example, we have so many women sa Senate natin. And
Yes, women can lead na right
parang
now.
dati hindi pa yun concrete na thought sa, for example, sa time ni na Jose Rizal, napaka walang power ng women at that time. So, from that to come now na parang, ayun, nagkakaroon na rin tayo ng presidents na women. Kahit sabihin natin still, there's
Yeah.
improvement, kumbaga. So,
Also, there's an impactful scene sa isang movie wherein yung first time na pinayagan mag-vote yung mga Italian women, pali yung ballots kasi nila nun is siniseal nila through, parang paano ka mag-seal ng letter? Lalawayan mo, then isi-seal mo. So, the first time that Italian women were allowed to vote, bago nila i-seal yung ballots nila, is tinanggal nila muna yung lipstick nila to make sure na makakount yung ballots nila, yung votes nila
kasi
would be taken
if there was
into account.
if there was
Yeah.
lipstick stains
Yeah.
on
So
it,
they wouldn't be
Baka
discriminated against.
that's really, saan movie yun?
I forgot the title, pero it's about that specific event.
Go.
Yeah.
So, moving on.
Moving on, for our second question, there's this huge misconception na kapag feminist ka or you're an advocate for GAD, you'll be labeled as a man-hater, di ba? So, to clear this up, sa tingin niyo po ba kapag nag-advocate ang isang tao for women's rights, it automatically means na dinidisregard na nila yung rights ng mga kalalakihan?
Actually, that is a very nice question. I would like to point out na being a feminist doesn't just mean that you're fighting for women's rights. Being a feminist means that you're also fighting for men's right, because patriarchy, hindi lang siya against women, it also hurts men in the process too. So, balik tayo sa historical context. So, if you guys didn't know, dati yung mga women, hindi sila pwede lumabas, and with that, it means na hindi rin sila pwede kumanta. So, young boys are actually castrated para yung mga voices nila hindi siya bababa. So, ang ginagawa nila, they dress up the boys and then yun na yung pinapakanta nila. So, in this context, parang na-hurt din siya ng patriarchy. So, kapag sinabi nating feminist ka, hindi naman meaning na man-hater ka na agad. Although there are some na man-hater and we cannot honestly judge them for that kasi right naman nila yon. Kung iisipin natin kung ayaw nila dito, edi okay, and if gusto nila, that's fine too. Pero we have to clear this misconception na kapag feminist ako, ay ayaw ko na dito. It's not like that kasi being a feminist means that you're fighting for women and men alike.
Ayun nga, lagi siyang, ewan ko siguro sa social media, lagi ko siyang nakikita na ang daming nag-ano sa'yo pag feminist ka na, ay, puro ano lang yung iniisip mo, purong kayo lang. No, actually, kasi we have for example, yung, what do you call that bill? Soji bill.
Soji.
Yeah. Ang ano nila doon, di naman siya for women, pero yeah, kasama doon yung women. Pero, inaano nila is for LGBT lang siya, or for a certain, yung
For a certain
for certain demographic lang. Pero, we also have to really look into it na hindi lang siya for that certain demographic. We're also fighting for everyone's rights.
Exactly.
So, ayun. So, ikaw ba?
So, for me, di ba, ang gender and development, it's not specifically made for women lang naman. Actually, men also are subjected to this gender norms. Kasi nga, if you're a guy, you're supposed to be strong, dapat hindi ka emotional, dapat matalino ka sa math or science subjects. Kapag may bubuhatin, automatically, dapat ikaw, ganun. So, being a GAD advocate and being labeled as a man-hater, for me, parang contradicting siya, di ba? Ayun.
So, going forward, for our next question, bakit ba nagkakaroon ng misconceptions about GAD? Ayun nga, connected. And saan sila usually nanggagaling? Like sa social media ba, personal experience, or lack of information?
Well, that is a really broad question. Pero, sige, let's look at it from our cultural light. here in the Philippines kasi parang sobrang lala. Let's put it that way. Sobrang lala ng mga sex, like, kapag babae ka, ganito ka lang. Kapag
May
lalaki ka,
certain
dapat
gender norms.
Yeah. Yung gender norms natin, until now, parang lagi nilang ini-impose, even though anong generation na tayo, may gen beta na nga. Pero, yung mga misconception natin sa God, most of them really came from the teachings ng families natin, ng church natin. Kasi, di ba nga, we are a very religious country. And hanggat hindi natin na aayos yun, doon sa root cause na yun, I don't think na mas maano natin siya, like, mas ma-address natin siya. Kasi, yes, social media, personal experiences, and lack of information really does help fuel the misconception. Pero kasi we have to understand that it starts with us. And if you just keep on feeding yourself with this misinformation, if you don't research on what is really right, parang, anong sense nun? Parang you just, like, sumama ka lang sa majority ng mga nagmi-misconception sa GAD natin.
I wanna share din yung, siguro sa experience ko as myself na I'm from a family na puro lalaki. So, mag-isa akong babae sa pamilya namin. So, there's always like a certain, tawag dun, parang expectation sa akin na kailangan ganito ko, kailangan ganyan ka, kasi babae ka. Pero, parang, hindi ba lahat dapat, kunyari, ang lagi kasi sinasabi sa akin, dapat matuto ka magluto, dapat matuto ka magganto, maglaba, magganto. Hindi ba basic skills
Yeah,
yun
exactly.
for everyone?
It's a life skill.
Yeah.
Everyone should learn it.
So, feel ko dun din talaga siya nagsimula.
Yeah, so moving on to our next question. So kanina po, we talked about the milestones para sa ating mga babae, but we also need to look at events where women's rights were totally neglected. Could you please share the most heart-clenching event in the history of women for you?
For me, yung nabasa ko talaga about comfort women, it's really heartbreaking to think na until now, dinideny pa rin siya. And just recently, tinanggal yung statue nila for commemoration. So, that statue symbolizes na parang we will never forget it. But the fact that we chose to remove it, parang it really hurts, lalo na yung sa mga comfort women na are still living right now. Like, imagine, hindi na nga sila nakatanggap ng apology, hindi na sila nakatanggap ng kahit anong acknowledgement. Parang ang ginawa na lang is, ay, okay, nangyari to. Anyway, parang ganun na lang yung nangyari
Kumbaga,
sa kanila.
pinagtakpan yung...
Yes, tinakpan na lang, and then parang binigyan na lang ng, like, what do you call this? Parang compensation yung government to government. Pero in fact, naisip ba natin na kung yung women na to, gusto ba nila ng compensation? Hindi nila gusto ng compensation. Ang gusto nila is apology. They want to be acknowledged, tas they want to be the stories na, eto, hindi siya victim lang. She is a survivor.
Kumbaga kahit recognition, kumbaga
Yes,
na
recognition.
they survived through that,
Tsaka it's sad to think na may nabasa ako na comfort women typically hinahide nila sa families nila na naging comfort women sila. Parang, ikaw na nga yung victim. Ikaw pa yung parang
mag-a-adjust.
na-a-shame na victim ka, which is totally wrong. And imagine serving like 40 to 50 soldiers every night, tas ikaw yung ma-a-shame. Parang baliktad. Dapat kung
Sila
sino yung perpetrator, sila yung ma-ashame sa ginagawa nila.
Exactly.
So, ayan, that was a really, medyo naging heavy yung Pero it's very insightful. We have to really know about these kind of stuff. Lalo na ngayon sa time natin ngayon. But yeah, moving forward, siguro to liven up the, the mood. We have a segment here called Would You Rather? So basically, it's a quick and fun series lang ng questions, and kailangan mo lang gawin is to choose between two options and explain briefly kung bakit yun yung napili mo.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
So, for our question number 1, would you rather have perfect Wi-Fi everywhere on campus or perfectly functioning lab equipment forever?
actually very timely. I'd rather have perfect Wi-Fi everywhere on campus. Well, first of all, kasi kailangan natin yan as students. We have to communicate constantly, and then may mga kailangan tayong ipaprint, and kailangan din natin na mag-research, mag-aral. And some students are not fortunate enough to study on their own houses kasi. So, they go dito sa PUP or like sa mga study areas within the campus. And it's just sad to think na sa certain areas ng campus natin is wala talagang signal at all. So, it really hinders the study session na gaganapin sana, na gagawin ng ating student. And when it comes kasi sa functioning lab equipment, yung mga lab natin right now, yes, it might not be the best, pero it works and it really teaches us naman na. And kung ma-improve natin siya, and yes, that's okay, that's fine, and that's actually good. Pero we have to prioritize muna sana yung signal, ganyan, yung wifi natin.
Lalo din kasi super daming students sa so nagkakaanuhan sa signal if ever.
Tsaka for
Exactly.
communication din kasi 'di ba minsan may prof na change rooms pala bigla ganun.
Tapos hindi mo marireceive yung message
Ikaw pa
kasi wala kang
malilate.
signal.
So moving forward, would you rather attend an international tech conference every year or host workshops that empower local students?
Ito controversial, pero I'd rather attend International Tech Conference every year. So, let me explain. Being able to attend an International Tech Conference actually teaches me kung ano ba yung alam ng ating mga foreigners about technology. And when they teach that to me, I can assure myself and others around me na kaya ko siyang ituro and kaya ko siyang i-advocate to others. And for me kasi, hindi na kailangan na, sasabihan pa ako na, ay, Chelsea, magpa-workshop ka. Parang, dapat it's a given as a student leader na, I have to empower my members, then ganun. So, for me to be able to attend this kind of workshops and share it with everyone, parang ganun na rin yung mangyayari. I also empower na the members.
Galing ng answer. ASCII president yan.
Yes.
For our third question, would you rather speak your mind and risk conflict or stay quiet to keep peace?
Ayan. So, eto, another controversial one. Ayan na naman. So, I'd rather speak my mind and risk conflict kasi I really believe na quiet mouths don't get fed. Alam niyo ba yung saying na yun? So, when something bothers you, it's really important that you speak up and you fight for yourself. Kasi if you don't stand up for yourself, edi sinong magsa-stand up for you, 'di ba? And it's really timely kasi 'di ba, Women's Month din. Ayan yung laging pinaglalaban natin. Like ang tagal-tagal na nating pinaglalaban yung rights natin. And ayun yung ginagawa natin. We are risking conflict and we risk conflict, and by risking that conflict, we actually get to the point kung nasaan na tayo ngayon. So, being able to speak up and being able to speak our minds and being able to fight for our rights got us to this point, and ayun, we should never regret that.
Yes. Parang yung conflicts kasi na to, parang nagiging path siya towards what is right, di ba?
Sometimes conflicts are necessary kasi.
Parang mas mahihirapan ka pa kung i-keep mo yung peace tas hindi ka naman masaya dun sa nangyayari sa
Exactly.
environment.
As a previous people pleaser, totoo
Yes,
yan.
wag po kayo maging people pleaser, everyone.
Mahirap maging people pleaser. Actually,
Totoo.
napakatagal ko naging people pleaser.
Ako din.
Na ngayon ko lang din siya na...
Parang you're hurting yourself in the
Oo.
process kasi kapag people pleaser
Ngayon ko
ka.
lang din siya parang nababago sa sarili ko na... you need to say no sometimes.
Yes.
Parang okay nga yung ibang tao, pero paano naman ikaw?
Exactly. Self-respect muna.
So, I think that's the
Yeah.
only time we have because our dear president have other commitments.
Yes.
So,
Thank you for having me,
It was
guys.
really,
Thank you
really
so
great.
Yes, such a productive meeting. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
po.
To every student listening who's doubting themselves, who feels overwhelmed, or who thinks they're not enough, remember that every challenge, every failed attempt, every redirection is part of your build process.
This has been #MyTechShiro, Captains of the Digital World. Thank you for tuning in to
Usap Tayo Sinta.
Tara, usap tayo, Sinta.